Hey everyone, this is Dr. Israel with Integrative Kidney Institute, and today we're going to be talking to you about the latest installment, the July edition of our Integrative Kidney Research and News. If you're a subscriber to our email, you get those on a regular basis in your email once a month as an early bird. If you'd like to wait, we publish them monthly on the blog, and also we make them into these videos, as you have been noticing for the past few months. Now, this month has been a busy month, and there's a lot of studies. So we summarized 4 studies for you in this video, and I'm going to share them with you right now. So let's do this. But before we begin, make sure you press the subscribe button and the notification button so that YouTube notifies you when a new video comes out on our channel. So this first study looked at the link between extended sleep and restless legs and chronic kidney disease. It's published in BMC Central. It was open access study. So basically, it actually looked at the link between sleep patterns and chronic kidney disease in the Iranian Kurdish community. It was a cross-sectional research involving 9,766 participants with an average age of 47 years. And they were evenly split between women and men. The analysis found that the incidence of chronic kidney disease was 10.8%, which is pretty much consistent with the global incidence of chronic kidney disease. After adjusting for various factors, they found that longer sleep duration of more than 8 hours was associated with 28% higher likelihood of chronic kidney disease compared to normal sleep duration, which they call it 7 hours per day. And then patients or participants who experienced restless legs had 32% higher chance of developing chronic kidney disease. So the study concluded that there might be a link between sleep duration and restlessness and the development of chronic kidney disease. And definitely this supports the notion that regulation of sleep pattern plays an important role in the development and progression of chronic kidney disease. And it's something that we need to pay attention to for preventing chronic kidney disease and progression of chronic kidney disease. The second study is shifting gear to genetics. And here, this is a genome-wide study that shed the light on the progression of chronic kidney disease and how genetics plays an important aspect in the progression of chronic kidney disease. It's a meta-analysis that aimed to understand that genetic aspect of the progression of kidney disease, and the study involved more than 100,000 individuals with chronic kidney disease from Million Veteran Program and the Vanderbilt University DNA Biobank. The analysis really focused on the annual slope of GFR, the progression of kidney function every year, and was stratified based on race and ethnicity and diabetes status. They found that there was a strong association between a specific variant. These RS numbers are specific SNPs ID, and this SNP is related to the UMOD gene. And if they found that there's any copy of the G allele, that will be associated with 0.3% per year faster decline in GFR. They also found an association with a gene called BICC1 genetic variant, and in patients without diabetes, the UMOD gene also has another variant that has been associated with faster decline. In Black participants, faster GFR decline was associated with the variant with this RSID and near the APOL1 gene, and also another SNP near the HEATR4 gene. So what are these genes? UMOD gene code for uremodulin, which is the protein that is present in our tubules, and we are more and more understanding about how is this involved in the progression of chronic kidney disease. So this story is evolving on that. We'll talk about it in future videos and blog. The other gene is the BICC1 gene, actually encode for an RNA binding protein that is active in regulating gene expression. So we know that our gene do not determine our destiny. And this is a great example that changes in this genetic code can affect how other genes are expressed and how the progression of kidney disease can occur. The APOL1 gene has been described often in the progression of chronic kidney disease and the faster progression of chronic kidney disease in African American. And the HEATR4 gene is really not clear now what it is. It is predicted to enable the oxidoreductase activity, which to me tells me that there is some oxidative stress involved too here. So why this is important? This new information can help developing innovative therapeutic strategies for chronic kidney disease. And it also underlined the importance of personalized Chinese medicine, considering the various genetic factors associated with GFR decline among different racial and ethnic groups with and without diabetes. And although a lot of these genes I'm not aware that these variants, these SNPs, are not available commercially. I know that the only commercially available kidney-specific genetic testing does identify genetic variants in the UMOD and the APOL1. The third study that I want to talk about is a new study that looked at the urinary metabolites as an indicator of chronic kidney disease progression. So the theme of this video is chronic kidney disease progression, as you can see. And here, the research team sought to uncover potential biomarkers for chronic kidney disease progression by analyzing metabolites in urine samples. They actually specifically want to look for markers that signal 30% decline in GFR or doubling of serum creatinine or the onset of end-stage kidney disease. So they collected samples from 789 patients with kidney disease at the time of kidney biopsy and from 147 healthy subjects. The findings showed that there are 7 metabolites that has clear distinction between healthy individuals and those with CKD stage 1, and also noticed consistent changes in patterns from healthy to advanced stage CKD in these patients. And the top 5 metabolites that had the best differentiation was betaine, choline, glucose, fumarate, and citrate. These metabolites remain significantly associated with the composite outcome even after adjusting to other variants such as age, sex, GFR, urine protein to creatinine ratio, and diabetes. Now, if you add choline, glucose, fumarate to the traditional biomarkers that are used, the eGFR and the proteinuria, that can significantly enhance the ability to predict composite outcome according to this study. What's interesting about the study is that despite the TMAO levels is increased in advancing stages of kidney disease, they did not find significant correlation with TMAO in the urine and composite outcome. This is probably because TMAO is produced by our gut microbiome after the intake of choline, and maybe the urine TMAO is not as powerful predictor of outcomes as it is if it is in the blood or in the gut. And choline is really interesting. We ingest choline from meat and eggs and goes into several pathways that help developing neurotransmitters, and also goes into that methyl group metabolism, and it's an important methyl donor, and it plays an important role in epigenetics also. On the other flip side, it's metabolized in the gut by the gut microbiome, creating this TMA, which goes into the liver and became TMAO, which has been documented to be associated with poor cardiac outcomes and even progression of kidney disease. So really, really interesting conversation here about choline and betaine and TMAO and this study worth mentioning. And then we talk about fumarate and citrate. These are from the TCA cycle, the Krebs cycle. And low citrate in particular is a known risk factor for kidney stone. It's a marker of acid retention and CKD. And now, according to this study, urinary citrate levels differentiate between healthy population and patients with early stage chronic kidney disease, even if they have preserved kidney function. Why is this important? These urinary metabolites not only differentiate healthy individuals from patients who are in early stages with kidney disease, they exhibit consistent pattern that changes with advancing kidney disease and can predict CKD progression and outcomes. And I believe these can be very helpful in early detection and intervention and can have future for practitioners who are looking to bend the curve on the progression of chronic kidney disease. And checking urinary citrate help identify kidney dysfunction or predict kidney outcome even in patients with preserved kidney function. And this is really commercially available. So don't forget about urinary citrate. All right. The last study I want to talk to you about, it's about Chinese medicine and herbs. We always shy, the nephrologists always shy from herbs. Every time you mention herbs, they're running away. And this study looked at Romania 6, and it showed that it has potential in stabilizing kidney function in diabetic patients. The study basically looked at this Chinese herb, which is a compound of 6 species of Romania herbs, and they looked at the progression of chronic kidney disease in patients with type 2 diabetes who have severely increased albuminuria. And we know that diabetes is the leading cause of chronic kidney disease around the world. This is a multi-center trial, but it only involved 148 adults with type 2 diabetes and an estimated GFR of 30 to 90 and urine albumin to creatinine ratio of 300 to 500 milligram per gram. The patient were randomized to either get a 48-week add-on protocolized Chinese medicine treatment program program called the Romania 6, which I put the formulation down below for you, or standard care alone. The primary outcome was measuring the rate of change in GFR and urine albumin to creatinine ratio at the beginning of the study and at the end of the study at 48 weeks. The secondary outcomes were safety, changes in biochemistry, biomarkers, and concomitant drug use. They found that estimated GFR changes were better in the Romania group than the standard of care alone group. And this suggests less severe decline with this herb, but there was no significant change in the urine albumin to creatinine ratio statistically. So Romania 6 is an option to stabilize your patient who have diabetes and proteinuria, especially those who are stage 2 or 3 kidney disease, and can be great add-on therapy for them. I hope you like this video. If you like it, don't forget to share it with the people who may benefit from it. You can also follow us on www.InKidney.com. We're on Instagram at Integrative Kidney. We're on Facebook at InKidney.